Hey, what's happening, guys? I wanted to make this video sooner. I wanted to make this video last week when I found out when I heard that Jimmy Carter had died, our president, our 39th president. So I wanted to make this video. So I'm gonna make it now. What a lot of you guys probably weren't even born when Jimmy Carter was president, and if you were born, you probably was too little to remember what was going on. So let me tell you guys what was going on when Jimmy Carter was president. So I want to talk about Jimmy Carter. I think Jimmy Carter was probably the nicest president we ever had. I'm gonna say that. I think he was the nicest. Him and his wife, they were generally nice people. Okay, I would say that he was the nicest president. However, like Donald Trump said, he might have been one of our worst presidents, okay? Because Jimmy Carter had the gas lines. Yes, the lines were so long that you would be camping out in the line. They could take you run out of gas trying to get to the service station. The lines used to be that bad, yes. Fights would break out in these lines. Everybody had big cars back. You gotta remember, Carter was president, I think, from 77 to 81, 4 years, right? Now, before 1977, like back in the good old days, gas was damn near free, right? I can remember when gas was like, I don't know, I definitely remember when gas, one time gas was like 26 cents a gallon. 30 cents, 40 cents a gallon, right? Everybody had big cars. Everybody had Cadillacs and Camaros and Mustangs and, Chevelles and SS, big Lincoln car. Everybody had V8 cars. I had a 67 Catalina with a V8, right? Everybody had V8s, and I had a Grand Prix, nice Grand Prix. And V8, beautiful, cherry red with a white vinyl top, pimp car. Everybody had Deuce, electric Deuce and quarters. Anyway, and you could go to the service station, man, and V8, mind you, fill your tank up with $5. You can go to the gas station with $10, fill your tank up with $5, buy bread and candy and get groceries. $10, you can fill your tank up with gas and get groceries. Okay, that's how it used to be. And Jimmy Carter came into office, and gas went from, I don't know, 40 or 50 or 70 cent or 60 cent a gallon to 99 cent a gallon. And everybody thought it was the end of the world. That's when the gas line, they kept talking about it was a gas shortage. And them lines were long and horrendous, okay? They were terrible. And I'm going to tell you a quick story. I'm going to let you watch this video first, some of this video, and I'm going to tell you a story that happened to me. People used to ride around with big 5, 10 gallon gas cans in their car, because, you never know when you could get some gas. People used to ride around with you get a water hose and you cut it. You cut the water hose, right, about this long, and people used to siphon gas. I don't know if you ever done that. Probably haven't. But you take the water hose and you stick it in the gas can. People used to steal gas, basically, right? You see a few school buses and stuff. Like, man, there's gas over there. People used to steal gas. And you ride around with the water hose, cut about this long, and you stick it in the tank, and you suck on like this. The gas start coming, right? And then when the gas start coming, start coming out. That's called siphon. And you get your gas can. Yeah, that's what it was like when Jimmy Carter was president. It was that bad. It was terrible. That's why Donald Trump said Jimmy Carter was our worst president, and he's right. He's one of our worst presidents. But anyway, that's when people's That's when all them locking gas caps started coming out with the keys, because people literally ride around looking for gas to steal. You know, I mean, people literally ran out of gas in them gas lines. Can you imagine? Gas line, and a gas line would be on could go for miles. I've been in them. There's been gas lines been several miles, and you just sit in you just turn your car off, and you start camping. Now people be cooking hot dogs and man, all kind of people having sex. I'm serious. It was terrible when Jimmy Carter when Jimmy Carter was president. The gas line was terrible, man. Yeah, it was bad, man. Children was born in them gas lines. I guarantee you. That's how bad them gas lines were.
This is unreal. Isn't this disgusting? Why doesn't anybody contact the president? Why is he letting this happen to us?
To sum up in the word of one irate motorist, the first day of the odd-even system was a disaster. Gas lines at many stations were a lot longer than normal.
Line today is longer than it's ever been. I have no explanation for it.
This gas line at one station on the Upper West Side ran from 96th Street and West End Avenue all the way up to 102nd Street. As might be expected, the longer the line and waiting time, the angrier some motorists became.
I think it's terrible. I really think it's terrible.
Look how long them gas lines are. This is in 79.
I've been here for an hour already.
There's no shortage. I don't believe there's a shortage.
The odd-even system can't do anything about the problem of no gas. Some of the people online here have been in other lines and still don't have a tank of gas.
This is the second gas line this morning.
What happened at the first one?
They ran out.
I've been in 2 gas lines already.
This morning?
This morning.
How long did you wait for the first one?
Been in both lines over an hour, and I'm out of gas. Dead out.
This is what it was like when Jimmy Carter was president. Long ass gas lines, guys. This is what I remember. It was horrible. People thought it was the end of the world.
Most service station operators were not following the new regulations to the letter. Drivers with more than a half a tank of gas should have been turned away, but no one was checking.
I don't intend doing that. It's too risky.
This morning we're a little short on help, so we are not checking gauges, but from what the purchases have been, there really is no need because they're all getting large sales.
What are we trying to do?
Well, my son is trying to see how much gas we have left in the tank and whether we can make it out on the Sawmill River Parkway. So he stuck his walkie-talkie antenna in the tank, which I do not see we're going to get out.
Well, all you motorists with odd number plates, tomorrow, it's your turn.
Goddamn governor, he's going to police this goddamn gasoline situation. I will not take the blame for this thing. I will not take the crap and the harassment from these customers. Now let him police it or stop selling gas.
Anger and bewilderment are growing as more and more Americans cope with gasoline lines and empty pumps. For millions of Americans, this may be the worst weekend they've ever faced for finding gasoline to give them the automobile freedom they take as their due. Gasoline shortages are spreading across the country. Odd-even service, gasoline lines, and closed gas stations are becoming increasingly common. And the news from overseas tonight gives no promise of quick relief. President Carter and other Western leaders agreed in Tokyo to limit oil imports to try to reduce dependence on OPEC, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. In Geneva yesterday, OPEC, we want to share the emotions Americans are feeling on the gas lines. Late last week, independent producer Phil Garvin spent a day on a line at a service station in Queens, New York. And this is what happened. As has become common in many states in the East, cars have been lining up before dawn. By the time the pumps opened, many had been waiting 2 and 3 hours for gas.
I've been here since 4:30 this morning. It's ridiculous waiting online here. I couldn't get gas Tuesday. The line was about 8 blocks long. It was ridiculous. It was unbelievable waiting in line. I can't take it anymore. I've been carpooling. It's my turn to get gas, and thank God I'm able to get gas today. I don't care how much it costs. I just gotta get gas. Gotta get to work.
People are very desperate. They depend an awful lot upon their cars. And there seems to be no limit to how far they'll go to keep driving that car.
I'm here since 5 in the morning. I spend every day 3 hours on the line. I am always nervous about gas. I can't concentrate on my work. I always have to look at my gas gauge and find out where I could get gas. I went out this morning. We had a lot of work on the...
You see right there, gas was, at this point in time, gas was 99 cents a gallon. Almost double what it used to be.
Glendale, Brooklyn, New York, and this is business. This is not pleasure. But I'll manage. Guaranteed.
We're all out of high test and regular gas. That's it. The lines are completely around the corner. So we won't have enough gas to forget it. We'll have to cut the line short.
Now, after waiting 2 hours, and we're not sure if I can make it. Well, there's any gas left.
Literally running out of gas.
Okay, so here's the reason, supposedly, why the gas prices got high. Supposedly, we was running out of gas, and nobody didn't believe that. Everybody bullshit. Like that lady was saying, I don't believe it. Didn't nobody believe it, but that's what they kept trying to tell us, that we was running out of gas, so we had to get gas from overseas. Here, listen, check it out.
Over the years, production of U.S. oil was dropping, and dependence on foreign oil was growing. As we entered the 1970s, American refiners were reaching further and further around the world to quench our thirst for oil. And as we entered the 70s, we learned for the first time that oil could be an effective political weapon. In 1973, the Arabs, who were upset with our support of the Israelis, cut off the oil. And when they turned it back on, the oil that once cost us pennies a barrel now cost us a whole lot more. 1973, the year of long gas lines, of stations shut down, and of higher prices. 73 was the year that many of us turned to smaller cars, learning what the Europeans had known for a long time. Our energy story might have had a brighter ending here to say that we all learned a lesson in 73, that the fear of shortages and of higher prices caused us to conserve fuel. But it was easy to slip back into old patterns, and for the next few years, we paid a little more each month for gasoline, and we continued wasting it. We were still importing record amounts of oil and paying more and more for it. OPEC became a household word, and every time the OPEC nations raised oil prices, we paid. It was a delicate balance, easily upset. 6 years later, it was upset. 1979, and again it seemed to happen almost overnight. Long lines at the gas pumps, higher prices. A world away from Houston, in Iran, the oil was cut off. But it's a small world these days. The cutoff hurt. And an unwieldy and complex government plan for allocating fuel hurt even more. Houstonians seemed particularly enraged, sitting here on our long gas lines in our town whose very name means oil and freedom to move around. It seemed unreal. A lot of other Americans thought it was all pretty unreal too. For in the summer of '79, a Gallup poll found that more than 3/4 of all Americans polled felt that the oil crisis of '79 was a hoax, a plot to allow the oil companies to raise their prices.
It's a ridiculous situation. You got a situation where 34 major oil companies are playing footsie with the federal government and getting anything they want, and 170,000 dealers and millions of Americans are getting screwed as a result.
The oil companies defended themselves by blaming the shortage on the Iranians, and above all on the government for not deregulating fuel prices. The oil companies reasoned that if prices were free to seek their own level, then the higher prices which would naturally occur would encourage conservation, and that extra profits could be used to find more oil and to expand refining capacity. To help get us out of this mess, President Carter came up with a plan. Sunday night, July 9, 1979. Houston and the world were watching.
Beginning this moment, this nation will never use more foreign oil than we did in 1977. Never.
Carter's plan was ambitious: to cut imports, to make us energy self-sufficient, to develop synthetic fuels, and to tax the oil companies mightily. The oil industry hated his ideas. Even people who had no interest in the oil industry one way or the other question if such lofty goals can ever be reached before we run out of fuel. But reachable or not, the government and the oil industry agreed to one thing: time was running out, and so was our energy.
So yeah, that's the same shit they're trying to pull on us today is what they pulled back in the 70s. They were saying that they wanted, basically, everybody had to get, like me, everybody started getting rid of their big V8 cars and getting smaller cars because the gas was so high. So that was your number one option. And that's what I did. I got rid of my Grand Prix. Well, actually, my Grand Prix got totaled. But I got rid of my Grand Prix. I had a long bed van. And I had a Dodge Charger. I got rid of all those cars, right? And guess what I got? I got my first small car. A gray or silver 1981 Datsun B310. A 4-cylinder. Yeah. I went from a big car to a small car. Yep. And it was good on gas. But that's the same thing they're doing today. Oh, our earth is, we need to save energy and conserve. So now we got to get electric cars. They did the same thing. Funny thing is, though, right? Once everybody got the small cars, of course, gas went down. And then the big cars started making a comeback. The V8 started making a comeback. Of course, I got me a Mustang then. But anyway, and you heard what the man said. We had to rely on foreign oil. And they was mad at us for supporting Israel. So when they turned the gas back on, and they still doing that to us. That's what Donald Trump said when he's in office. We going back to American oil because we got oil here in America. But anyway, it's all political bull crap. Oh yeah, a couple more things. Jimmy Carter had a brother, Billy Carter, and he had Billy Beer. I think if you find a can of that stuff there, it's like worth 65 cents. And Jimmy Carter was from Georgia, right? And they made their money selling peanuts. They had a peanut farm. And anyway, Richard Pryor used to have fun with the Carters too. He said that one time about Mrs. Carter. Hi, Miss Carter. How's your husband? Bigger than a peanut.
I was going to talk about something that's very serious, and I hope no one gets offended. I want to talk about fucking. And sometimes I talk about it, and a lot of people in the audience don't know what I mean. So, would you raise your hand if you don't know what fucking is? So we can watch your ass when you leave here. There's not enough fucking going on in America. Americans, Reagan get in, you stop fucking. We fuck when Carter was in, we fucked all the time. There wasn't nothing else to do. Hey, let's fuck. President making a speech, let's fuck. Reagan in now, everybody listen to this motherfucker. We can't fuck now.
Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap this thing up. I'm going to tell you my story that happened in the gas line. So it was in the gas line, right? I think we was in Maryland. Me and my oldest kid, mom. Rest in peace, Cindy. Cindy used to be a cheerleader. Cindy was a pretty girl. Anyway, Cindy was driving. I was in the passenger side. We were sitting in that gas line for like, I don't even know, man, hour and a half. I think we was on 95 or the BW Parkway to go to the service station. Those lines were horrendous. So we finally get to the gas, to the gas pump. And it was a man, it was a white man. He said, come on, right? He had two sides coming. He told me to come on. I said, okay. So Cindy pulled up, and I get out the car to pump the gas. All of a sudden, this soldier popped up out of nowhere. Hey, MF, you cut the effing line, right? He was in uniform. I said, I ain't cutting no effing line. Man told me to pull up. Motherfucker, you better be glad I got my uniform on. I beat your punk ass, right? Right? That's how bad these lines used to be. You know, and I was in good shape back then. You know what I told him? I said, there go the bathroom right there. Go change your clothes. Go change your clothes. I'm right here. Right? He just looked at me, swole. I said, go ahead. I'm pumping, right? Pumping gas. I said, go change your clothes. I'll be right here. Right? I think he was trying to show off because he saw Cindy, right? I always had some pretty girlfriends. He saw Cindy, he was trying to show off, but yeah. But he ain't going to that bathroom to change his clothes because he would have got his ass whipped. Anyway, yeah, he came out the store there and tried to be nice. Man, we've been sitting in that line for 2 hours. I said, me too, motherfucker. So we ain't got time to talk now. See you later. Have a good day. Because I was done pumping gas. And we left this dumbass standing there. He just looked at me, right? But that's how them lines used to be. They was bad. I mean, it'd be fights in them lines. All kind of stuff be going on in them gas lines back then. Because people be mad, right? You know, it was very tense to be sitting. I'm going to try to explain this. Have you ever been stuck in traffic? You ever been stuck in traffic, like New York traffic or D.C. traffic? Picture yourself being stuck in D.C. traffic when it's snowing and it take you like 45 minutes to go 5 miles. Okay, well, imagine doing that, except you ain't going home. Now you're trying to get to a service station, right? That's how bad them lines used to be. All right, guys, peace out. I'm Big Brian. Have a good day. Still flexing. Peace out.